Hey everybody, welcome back. Devin the OG, the original Grognard. Yeah, it's been a while since we've been here, back to the table. Easily probably a good year. Couple reasons for that. It's not like I haven't not been doing videos. It's just they've all been for work. And my designing and developing publishing work for Lock and Load Publishing. The last year and a half, I've spent a lot of time on a bunch of titles. Here's the Bitter Harvest, Valor of the 13th, Enemy at the Gates. I've been doing massive playtestings for Ralph's Heroes of Grenada. I've been doing development work for Gottardo's Zanchini's upcoming new game, JU-87 Stuka Ace. Terry Doherty's Napoleonics game, Glory and Empire. A lot of stuff I've been working on. And it's kind of funny because growing up, always, I thought it'd be kind of cool to work for a game company. Well, I work for a game company now, and the problem is, since I work for a game company, when I'm in my off time and my downtime, I don't want to play games. I don't want to go through rule books because I do that all day long for work. So I usually will just hop on the computer and push buttons and let the computer worry about all the rules, decisions, and adjudicating and all that other good stuff. So I don't have to think, or I just blow stuff up in Cyberpunk, or just push buttons and kill stuff. I don't want to think too much. So I haven't done a lot of my own personal gaming. I've done a little bit of football over sports gaming. Well, not just football, sports gaming over the last year and a half, because it's simple and it's easy, and it's something I can sit down, knock out in 5 or 10 minutes on the games that I have. So everybody kind of knows and remembers, if you've been following the channel for a while, that I really like second season from play.com. But if anybody's been following the channel for a while, also knows that it takes me a painfully long time to play a game, like 3 hours. Just because I don't know the rules that well, and I don't know how the book's laid out. And I know Keith, who designed the game, he can knock out an entire football match in 45 minutes. I'm not him. And I'm sure if I played the game more, I would get to that point. So I kind of slipped off of doing much with second season. Loved the game, but I really needed to be dedicated to play it. And but I did get into some other play games. Everybody knows I got Face to the Mat. I've got Red, White, and Blue Racing. I haven't done a video on that. Probably never will. History Maker Golf. I've done videos on. Really like History Maker Golf. And I also picked up, I think year before last, I picked up Fury Football. Did a couple videos on that. Really, really enjoyed that. I mean, I can knock out an entire game of Fury Football in like 15 minutes. I think it would take me longer to set up the the two teams to play than it actually took me to play the game. Be real simple. Sit down, throw a couple dice, get up, walk around, do something, come back about 15, 20 minutes later, roll some more dice, and just get on with my life. Well, not too long after Fury Football, I think Fury Football was 2019. In 2020, they came out with Second Season Express. Play.com came out with Second Season Express for second season, which I think took a lot of the elements in Fury Football and applied them to second season, allowing Second Season Express for me to play in a much shorter time than it takes me to play the full game. And so I went ahead and picked up this, and I've been threatening off camera to do a video on this for two years now. I know a buddy of mine, Todd, he's been, when are you going to do Second Season Express? When are you going to do Second Season Express? Like, I'll get to it. I just, really never got to it till now. Very small packaging. You got to have second season, first of all, to be able to play this. And this is what it comes in. It's, just this little envelope, and you've got a simple little pitch here, field. One page of very, very tiny font rules, and your 4 play cards for run sequences versus the 4 defenses, and pass sequences versus the 4 defense, be it pass, blitz, safe, or run. You got the same versus the run. So, what what is Second Season Express? What do you do? What makes it so simple? What makes it so easy? It's a game where you play. Let me get the score sheet over here. You basically play a minute at a time, and basically a drive rather than, the 10, 15 seconds that Second Season Express is. So you're not really doing individual plays. You're doing more of what the drive is. And I think this they took a very large hint and ideas from Fury Football, because Fury Football runs the same way, because it's all a matter of drives rather than individual plays. Another game that I've been playing a lot of football wise is Fast Drive Football from Al Wilson. I should probably do a video that I've got a 16 team World Football League that I've been playing through, and that one literally takes me 10, 15 minutes. I can get an entire game knocked out in that. That's real simple. And again, it's by drive. Either you score or you don't, you punt or you don't. It's actually really simple. It's not a lot of decision making in the game, and people may know that I tend not to like games where I don't have a lot of decisions. Although I'll admit I'm kind of getting over that here lately. You roll the dice, you check what the results are. You look for keywords, and it's an if then. It's your standard play if then result type action. But the cool thing about it is that it gives you the rules on how to set up a league and design your own teams. And depending on how many teams are in the league that you're wanting to play, you'll have X numbers of teams that are rated A, rated B, rated C, and those will give you a certain number of trade points. You roll randomly for the trade points. Of course, the better teams are going to have more trade points, more and less negative points. I need to do a video on it. I'm not doing it justice. But the cool thing is, it's got, at the end of the season, has the ability for the teams to be able to gain experience, gain traits, lose traits, get good traits, get bad traits, get rid of bad traits, get rid of good traits. So it's got a really robust, in-depth between season play for it, and I really, really like that. I haven't got through my first season yet, but I'm working on it. Been doing some Fury Football. I've got my World Football League Fury Football season that I've been doing, and I kind of been going back to second season because, as everybody knows, or if you've watched the channel, I like the Hypothetical Football America hypothetical team. Been doing the hypothetical season since 2017. I just got the 2022 season. So I've been doing that off and on. Sometimes I'll sit down and I'll play, at the full game when I've got, like, a few days I wanted to sit on my table and can take the time to sit there and bash my head against the monstrosity that second season is. And I've been flipping back and forth. Also been using Second Season Express because it's a lot quicker and a lot faster. So really, what is Second Season Express? It plays with second season, and so here's your second season, a San Diego defense card, and on the flip side would be the offense. So the 2022 Football America, you've got all the different positions, you've got their pass rating, run rating, and it all comes down to, all right, you do a play, and with the Express, it's either going to be a run sequence against 4 different types of defenses, like I said earlier, or pass sequence against 4 different types of defenses. And how do you figure that out? Well, it's mainly built as a solitaire game. For the defensive, it's assumed that the defense is going to be played by the AI, quote unquote AI. I'm doing air fingers here. And the offense is played by the player. And so the player, it's either going to be a pass play or a run play or a series of plays. And then you roll the dice, and then depending on what it is, it's either this is what the opposing coach is going to hit you. So say I decide I want to do a run play. Let's put my ball here. We're going to do a run play, roll a d6. It's a 2. It's going to be a safe defense. So we're going to do a run versus safe, which is right there. And this will be the card that you look at. Then you roll 2d6. I always go with black as the ones column because it's a 1 to 66 column. So kind of like a percentile, but only in a 66. And I usually use the blacks as the tens column. So that's a 64. So you look on 64, two or more defensive linemen rated run 0. You take a look at the defensive card. If they're, again, this is a play.com game. It's an if-then situation. If two or more defensive linemen raters are rated a 0, if yes, because the first one is always yes. Yes, use this result. No, use this result. So if yes, big gap for runner, do a gain, or wrestle down question mark, which is you need to check the runner's stat to see if he's got a question mark to see what the effect of that is. And there's also some other symbols like decider dice to see if the drive stays alive. We'll get into that a little bit. So if there are two or more defensive linemen rated run 0, that's the big gap for the runner. That's going to be a gain. You look down here at the little chart, you roll a d6, and it's a gain. That's how many zones, because if you'll notice, the field is broken down into a certain number of zones. And they're not 10 yards. You got 10, 20, 35, 50. It's kind of abstract. So let's say, so he did a gain, you roll a d6, and that's how many zones you move. And, once you get into the end zone, well, you score. Yay. And as long as you can make an advance, the play will always keep going, unless you get something like a circle or a triangle result. Like there's a triangle result right there. For the triangle, the drive is still alive. Choose a new play, same zone, do another play. And then if it's a circle, decider dice, or 50-50, even odd, whatever you want to go, keeps the drive alive, new play, same zone. If for whatever reason, if you, say you got a 56, hauled to the turf, and let's say that circle's not there, hauled to the turf, bam, that ends the drive. Now you're in fourth down. In fourth down, you decide, all right, do I go for another play? Do I try to punt, or do I try to go for a field goal? And then you've got your punts and returns, and your kickoffs and returns, and your field goal charts all here. Field goals, you got to look at what your field goal rating is and what zone you're kicking from to see if you make the field goal or the extra point. Kickoff and returns are just, a set number of zones. Punts and returns. So it's like, you're doing a punt, you roll a d6 right here. Up 6, and it's the O, so you go over to the O column. And sometimes you could, keep going more columns over. So like if you rolled another 6, which is wow, then you go over to the wow and roll it 2, 5. That's five zones returned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like so. So very simple, and each dice roll is basically a minute. Everything you do in the game is a minute, except for an extra point. Field goal attempts, kickoffs, whatever, what have you, yada, yada, yada. So you use your team cards from second season, but they're really abbreviated, and you're not really looking at specific players. You're sometimes looking at groups of players, like say, two or more players rated run 0 in the offensive backfield. Yes, it's a slow developing play, no advance, but there's a decider dice to see if it keeps going, or there's a gain when we're here on the run sequence versus pass defense. So you're not using all the stats that are on here. You're using a good chunk of them, but not all of them. And one of the reasons I like Second Season Express or Second Season is a lot of times, okay, so for example, you got the cornerbacks here. You got 3 different cornerbacks. Sometimes you're not sure which one you want to play. And if you want to let the dice, you have a whole series of random dice rolls. So if the defense sacks the quarterback, you don't know who it is, you roll a d20 and it'll tell you which one of the offensive or the defensive linemen or the defensive team made the tackle. Who does the kick return, who does the punt return, all that good stuff. So you're still using the same team cards that you're always using. You just don't use every single stat off of them, and it moves much, much quicker. I know that's a horrible explanation for me to give, but we're going to be getting into it a little bit more. The biggest problem I always had with the game was the coach, the AI. Again, if you don't want to choose, it's basically roll a 6-sided dice, 50-50, pass or run if you're on offense. So 1, 2, 3, it's a pass play. 4, 5, 6, it's a run play, and then roll a d6 to see what the defense does. Now, if y'all remembered earlier, I did mention I don't like playing games without lots of choices, but I have been kind of getting over that. Um, that to me, and that's true. To me, gaming is all about choices. But I'm realizing if I want a quick, fast, easy, fun game to play, sometimes I need to learn to give up the choices I make. So, my biggest problem was the offensive and defensive coaches. All right, all right. 50-50 chance. That's for just kind of your normal baseline team, but what if a team likes to pass a little bit more or run a little bit more? Well, you could, say, all right, one or two is a pass, three, four, five, six is a run, whatever. It doesn't solve the defensive coach though, because it's always pass, safe, 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 run blitz, or within your gold light defense or the red zone, pass, pass, run, run, blitz, blitz. Always had a problem with that. So I kind of took a cue from Fury Football, and Fury Football has got these wonderful coach cards, and I've got all the Fury Football coaches. There's like 50 different coaches here. And I've been substituting these coaches for the AI. Now, there's a little bit of modification you have to do because they don't line up exactly even. Fury Football isn't really true football. It's kind of a post-apocalyptic. I think of it as more, not really so much post-apocalyptic, but if you remember the what was it? The PlayStation 2 game Blitz the League, when football that football in that was a little bit rougher, a little bit meaner, a lot of steroid doping, and there's just a lot of shenanigans on and off the field. It's not true football. It's kind of a rougher, harder football. So the plays are a little bit different. But I have been using these coach cards for the offense and defense in Second Season Express. And since I play, the hypothetical, I can use whatever coaches I think would work best for that team. So for the most part, I play Oklahoma City. The red and the black at the Oklahoma City Kettle Barons. And they're a run-heavy team. I like the run game. I've always liked the run game. I tend to play teams that do the run game. So I went through, and this is one of the run coaches I usually go with. And if you'll notice, for Mild Winters, I love some of the names that they give for it. So this is my offense. Oh, no, it's defense. My offense with Mild Winters is I roll a dice. If it's a 1 or a 2, it's a pass play. 3, 4, 5, it's a run play. 6, it's an audible. Well, we don't really have audibles in Second Season Express. So you do have to kind of take some of the rules from Fury Football. So that's offense. And on defense, and then the red zone, which is pretty much the same in the red zone of pass, run, and audible. I kind of like that. It works for me. There's a couple other, let's see. Yeah, Ruthless. Actually, I don't use him because I hate those penalized. But anyways, there are a few passing or running coaches that I use. And so on defense, Mild Winters, he's got gotchas, reacts, pass, run, and fury, which is basically blitz. So you do have to kind of take a couple things because it's basically not just. So now you've got more than just pass run because on the offense, you've also now got the audible. And then on defense, you have pass defense, blitz defense, run defense, and safe defense. Well, if you notice on the Fury Football, it's gotcha, react, pass, run, fury. Okay, gotchas are kind of a special case. If you do a gotcha, you automatically counter whatever the offense is doing. So if the offense, say if Mild Winters was playing against Mild Winters, and Mild Winters rolled a 3 on offense and a 1 on defense, so he's going to be running a run play, but I rolled a gotcha, so I will automatically do a run defense against the run play. So you got to keep an eye on the gotchas. The gotchas will always let you know what is going on. If you do, react is basically a safe defense. So if you get the safe defense, or if you get the react, you got to consider that a safe defense. The only problem that kind of runs into that with the safe defense is an audible. If you run into an audible offense versus a react or safe defense, in Fury Football, it just ends the drive. In Second Season Express, it also just ends the drive and goes to 4th down. You need to make that decision. If you get a audible versus a gotcha, well, then the offensive player needs to decide, usually rolling a six-sided dice, even odd, pass run. If it's going to be a pass or run, and well, then the gotcha is going to be, you know what the gotcha is going to be. And then, of course, run defenses are the same. Pass defenses are the same. Fury, that's the blitz. So that's where the blitz comes from. So this gives you a huge variety because, like I said, you've got like 50, 60 different coaches from Fury football. And so you just, randomly go through and pick. And I don't have a problem with, all right, I played Chicago. 6 weeks later, I played Chicago. I'm not going to probably use the same Chicago coach. I'm just going to pull a random one out because they change the playbooks on a regular basis. And I don't always use mild winters for OKC. There's, like I said, there's about 3 or 4. And I just kind of randomly determine which one it is. If you really want to get down to it, I would probably say home team has advantage. So whoever who's run on the home field should probably see what the opponent is picking and then can choose their playbook by, whatever coach they want to use after the defense has randomly selected theirs. So that's how I get around the one issue I have with the Second Season Express is with the AI, is just using the AI bots and the coaches from Fury Football. Not everybody's got Fury Football. And there's nothing stopping you from making up your own coaches. And honestly, I've thought about doing that myself because, hey, I like messing around in Photoshop, scan a couple of these and just because I like Mild Winters. He's probably my favorite running, except for I'm not a fan of the two gotchas in the red zone. Gotchas are really, really overpowered. And there's a couple coaches that have got 3 gotchas on defense, which is basically saying, yeah, I've got at least a 50-50 chance of shutting down any play you're going to do by countering it with exactly the right. So that makes them really powerful. Now, if you're going to be playing against a team that's a lot better than you, or a higher rated team, and we'll get into team ratings in a little bit, then maybe it makes sense because the coaches, if it's an A+ team versus a C team, the A+ team's probably going to have more of an advantage coaching wise. So then, yeah, it might make sense for them to have a defensive coach with 3 gotchas on it. I'm just not a fan. 2 gotchas is about the most I'll tolerate. But honestly, if I could, I'd probably kick the 2 gotcha to a react and probably turn the 3 react into a pass defense. I mean, if and when I ever go in and change this coach, that's probably what I'll do. And that'll probably be my optimal offensive defensive coach for the Oklahoma City Kettle Barons. So what does that mean? Why am I telling you all this? Well, one, I haven't gotten anything to the table in a while, and I just recently picked up the Football America League, and I wanted to show this off a little bit. Oops. I think Keith started doing this new format last year. It's been a couple of years since I picked up any of the Football America team cards. But these cards are much thicker and much heavier, and it's not by a lot, but just a little bit than the old team cards. But I really, really like them. They are, like I said, they're a little bit heavier, a little bit more durable. I got the rounded corners. I love the rounded corners. It comes from my Hex Encounter gaming, I guess. On the back, you've got your instant results. So if you don't want to play out every single game, you just look at, all right, who's playing this, or who's the other teams that I don't want to play, who's on home, who's the home, who's the visiting, what's their grades, and that tells you, all right, well, if you've got A+ versus home team versus a C- visiting, then the home team is going to win on 11 through 65 percentile dice. Real easy, real simple. I know Keith used to do it for, at least would have a sheet of this specific for the fantasy or the Football America hypothetical, and it would have each team. It's like, all right, if you've got Chicago versus Detroit, this is what it's going to be. This is just an extra step because you do have Here's the preseason overview, and you've got the list of all the teams and their ratings right there. There's my Oklahoma City. It's a B. When I first started playing Oklahoma City, they were rated at a C. So you've got both sides. Poor New York, D minus. Chicago D. Ugh. But anyway, so you've got the schedule. You know who's playing who. If you don't want to play the game, it's like, okay, Golden Bay is at Memphis. They're both A's. Just take a look at the score sheet. So you've got an A versus an A. The home team's going to win on 11-43. There's a couple other things in here. There's a chance for it to go into overtime, depending on what you roll. And this kind of gives you a good idea of what's happened in the last year. Of course, Oklahoma City has massively changed since the last time I actually picked up one of the Football American Leagues. My quarterback and my main running back or wide receiver are gone. Willie Williamson and Malik Garner. I had no idea what happened to them. Like I said, it's been a couple of years. But so it's kind of nice to see Oklahoma City. Let's go ahead. One of the things that they used to do is that the sheets were black and white, which I kind of made sense because of being a hypothetical league, you just kind of made up your own team names. But now they're doing colors, and that kind of put me off a little bit initially, but the colors are subdued enough that it doesn't really override what my head canon for my team's colors is. So for example, in my league, it's the Chicago Bootleggers, and their colors are gold and white. But I mean, this is subdued enough. My suspension of disbelief isn't going to be hurt that I'm looking at Chicago in green colors. So offense on one side, defense on the other side. You got Detroit. Oops. Keep these in alphabetical order for now. Golden Bay on my, let's see, Detroit. What did I name Detroit? I can't remember what I named Detroit. Golden Bay Missionaries for my guy. Memphis Stars. New York Liberty. Their colors are green and white. New England. And this is another something that Keith loves to throw at us. Every couple of years, he'll take one of the teams and move them someplace else. It was used to be Philadelphia. Was the Philadelphia Minutemen, and then this year they moved them to Hartford. So now they're the New England Minutemen, and it's fine because their colors were red, white, and blue, and so New England's colors are kind of red and blue. Oklahoma City, I'm cool with the colors on this. The Oklahoma City Cattle Barons, they're the black and the red, so I'm good with this. Orlando, what did I name them? Sunrise, the Orlando Sunrise, Portland Sea Dogs, St. Louis Explorers, San Antonio Tornado, and I didn't ever come up with a name for San Diego because I never did do a game against San Diego. So let's go back to look at my Oklahoma City. Where's my Oklahoma City? Oklahoma. All right. So first thing I checked out, I had to check. All right, quarterback. Who the hell is this guy? Dallas Hedrick. He was always the backup quarterback, so that was fine. But yeah, Willie Williamson. I think that's who the quarterback's name was. I don't know who this guy is. Fine. All right. I'll learn to deal with it. And then my wide receiver, Malik Garner. He's gone. You got this Taylor Tahui and Antoine McBride. And these guys are not good. They're just not good wide receivers. I mean, as a quarterback, it's not really that great of a quarterback either. It's like, all right. And yet the team is rated at a B. So I flipped over, take a look at my defense. Good. Eric Stonebreaker is still around. I was so relieved to see that. He is the rock of the Oklahoma City defense. Broke his neck in my playthrough, broke his neck in the second game of the 2017, and he was out for the entire season, but came back strong in the 2018 season. He had like 14 quarterback crushes in the 6 or 8 games I played of the 2000. Unfortunately, he's getting kind of long in the tooth. His stat used to be a 2-pass, 2-neg run. Now he's just a 2-pass, 1 run. So he's slipping a little bit. And, you kind of expect that to happen. People will get old. People will retire. So that, yeah, no, that's kind of a look at the Football American League. Again, why am I doing this? I'm gonna jump in and do second season. Am I gonna record it? We'll probably record the first game. We'll see how that goes. I think according to the schedule, Chicago is the first team I'm going to be. My OKC is going to be playing against. Let's see what Chicago. What's up with Chicago? Chicago, there's a okay, so they're rated D. So I should have a pretty good chance of beating them. Maybe we'll see, because OKC is rated a B team. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show. I didn't really show this off. If you get injured players, you've got the quote unquote fringe players. These are basically reserves that you can call up. So like what happened in my 2017 when Stonebreaker was knocked out. I needed a backup replacement for his backup replacement, so I had to go to the fringe players list and find one that I thought would be good for OKC and pick them out. So a lot of good stuff in here. Yeah, that's kind of a rambling, disjointed, bloviating dissertation on Second Season Express, what I plan to do with it. So yeah, if y'all are interested in watching me do a game, then let me know. Comments below. I think I'm getting tired. I'm running out of steam. I should probably go do something else now. Questions, comments, concerns, complaint, criticisms in the comment section below. Talk to everybody later. Shake